Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever walked into a room and felt every eye turned toward you? Without saying a word, without trying, without even wanting the attention? That's not luck, that's not coincidence, that is the force of your aura. And let me tell you something, when your energy is that strong, it doesn't just enter a space, it transforms it. But here's the truth most people won't tell you. Not everyone can handle it. In fact, many will fear it, resist it, or even resent it. Today, I'm going to show you the 6 undeniable signs that your aura is simply too powerful for most people to handle. There are moments in life when you notice how people react to you, and it doesn't quite make sense at first. Maybe you're in a room and conversations pause when you walk in. Maybe eyes follow you a little longer than they should, or maybe people shift uncomfortably in their seats when you speak. You don't even have to say much. Your presence alone demands attention. That's not arrogance. That's not ego. That's energy. That's the undeniable force of your aura. And for most people, it feels like too much. The first sign is that people often misread you. They can't quite pin you down, and that unsettles them. You've probably had someone tell you that you're intimidating even when you've done nothing but simply exist in your natural state. That's because your aura carries strength and certainty, and people who are unsure of themselves can't process that. It makes them project their own discomfort onto you. Instead of recognizing your calm confidence, they twist it into arrogance or aloofness. But the truth is, they're not reacting to who you are. They're reacting to the mirror you hold up to their insecurities. The second sign is resistance. You'll notice how some people suddenly become defensive around you, even when you've given them no reason. It could be a coworker trying to outshine you in meetings, or a friend who constantly feels the need to challenge your ideas. They're not trying to prove you wrong. They're trying to prove to themselves that they measure up. Your presence forces them to confront their own limitations, and instead of rising to your level, they resist you. That resistance isn't a sign you're doing something wrong. It's a sign you're doing something right. Another sign is that people withdraw. They pull back, they stop reaching out, or they distance themselves without explanation. And it's not because you're unkind or unapproachable. It's because your aura is heavy with truth, and truth can be uncomfortable for those living in denial. They can't hide their flaws, their lies, or their excuses in front of you. They feel seen in ways they're not ready for, so they leave. At first, it may feel like rejection, but in reality, it's alignment. Your energy naturally filters out those who can't keep pace with it. The fourth sign is the split you create in people, admiration on one side, envy on the other. Some people are drawn to you because your strength inspires them. They want to learn, they want to grow, they want to understand how you carry yourself with such certainty. But others, they can't stand it. They'll gossip, undermine, or throw subtle jabs at you because your very existence reminds them of everything they haven't done. Your aura makes them feel small, not because you diminish them, but because they haven't yet stepped into their own power. And so, instead of celebrating you, they envy you. But both admiration and envy are proof of one thing: you're impossible to ignore. The fifth sign is that you're tested again and again. People try to push you to see if you'll lose your temper, to see if they can get under your skin. They question your choices, they doubt your abilities, they throw obstacles in your path just to see how you'll handle them. And when you stay calm, when you refuse to be rattled, when you stand firm in who you are, that unsettles them even more. Because most people rely on control through chaos. But you don't bend to that. You operate from a place of discipline, and that's why their tests fail. And finally, the sixth sign is that you don't seek approval. You don't need constant validation. You don't need applause. You don't need permission to exist boldly. That kind of independence terrifies people who live their lives trying to be liked. They don't understand how you can move so confidently without chasing external affirmation. But that's the power of your aura. It comes from within, not from what anyone else gives you. Your sense of self isn't fragile. It's unshakable. And that's why your presence feels overwhelming to those who can't find that same certainty in themselves. Your aura is not just about energy. It's about the battles you've fought, the lessons you've carried, the resilience you've built. It speaks before you open your mouth. It commands respect without you demanding it. And yes, that's going to make people uncomfortable. Not because you're wrong, but because you are everything they haven't yet allowed themselves to be. Some will mislabel you, some will resist you, some will walk away from you. But the truth is, your aura is not too much. It's simply too real. And real is rare. When you carry something rare, it's not meant for everyone to understand. Think about precious metals, rare diamonds, priceless art. Do you see them displayed in every corner shop for anyone to pick up? No. They're protected, they're valued, and they're understood only by those who recognize their worth. Your aura works the same way. Not everyone is supposed to grasp it, not everyone is meant to hold it. Only those who have sharpened themselves, who have walked through fire and built their own strength will stand in your presence and not feel overwhelmed. But here's where most people get it wrong. They think having a powerful aura is about being loud, being dominant, being the center of attention. That's not what power looks like. Real power doesn't need to shout. It's silent, controlled, and deliberate. The most powerful people are often the ones who say the least because their silence carries weight. When you walk into a room and you don't need to perform for approval, you don't need to demand eyes on you, yet everyone notices. That's power. That's the essence of a strong aura. You've probably seen it happen. Someone tries to take the spotlight, raising their voice, demanding attention, putting on a show, but then you walk in calm, steady, grounded, and suddenly the attention shifts without you trying. That's the difference between force and influence. Force is loud, insecure, desperate for acknowledgement. Influence is quiet, steady, impossible to resist. And that's what your aura carries, an influence that others can't escape, even if they want to. And this kind of energy comes with a cost. The stronger your aura, the more you'll notice people either gravitate towards you or completely avoid you. There's rarely a middle ground. Some will feel pulled in by your certainty, by the stability you radiate, because in your presence they feel safer, clearer, more focused. But others will retreat, because being near you magnifies the truth of where they've fallen short. They'll tell themselves you're too much, but the reality is you're just too real for their comfort. And let's talk about that word, too much. How many times in your life have you been told you're too intense, too strong, too direct, too confident? People throw too in front of qualities they can't handle, but what they really mean is, you are more than I can manage, and it forces me to face what I lack. So never shrink yourself to fit the version of you that others can tolerate. The ones who say you're too much are simply not enough for what you bring. When you carry this type of aura, you naturally disrupt patterns around you. The liar cannot lie as comfortably. The manipulator cannot play their games as smoothly. The insecure cannot pretend as easily. Why? Because your energy exposes the truth. You don't even have to call it out. People just know they can't hide in front of you. They either rise up to meet your level or they run away from it. Both outcomes are good for you because your life is too valuable to waste on those who cannot walk in honesty. This is why solitude becomes a companion. When your aura carries strength, silence feels better than shallow company. You begin to realize you'd rather walk alone than sit at a table filled with masks and false smiles. It's not loneliness, it's self-respect. Because when your energy is rare, being selective with who gets access to it isn't selfish, it's necessary. Not everyone should get to experience you up close. Not everyone should sit in your space, share your time, or drain your energy. Protecting your aura is not arrogance, it's wisdom. And make no mistake, people will try to test that protection. They'll test your boundaries, they'll see how much they can take before you push back. But your aura isn't just about attracting attention, it's about commanding respect. And respect comes from consistency. When people see that your words and your actions line up, when they realize you're not easily swayed, when they understand that your yes means yes and your no means no, they stop testing. They understand you're not someone to play with. But here's the paradox of having such power in your presence. It can feel isolating. Because the stronger your aura becomes, the fewer people you'll find who can match it. It's not that you're unapproachable, it's that your standards are higher, your vision is clearer, your energy is purer, and those things eliminate most of the noise around you. But don't confuse fewer people with less connection. When your aura is strong, the connections you do form are deeper, more authentic, more unbreakable. Because the ones who can stand in your light are the ones who aren't threatened by it. They're elevated by it. And this is the real gift of carrying such energy. You become a mirror for others. You show people what's possible. You don't even have to say a word. Your discipline speaks for you. Your resilience speaks for you. Your calm under pressure speaks for you. And for those who are ready, your presence awakens something inside of them. You inspire them to step into their own strength, to stop hiding behind excuses, to claim the life they've been avoiding. That's why your aura feels overwhelming to most people. It's not just energy energy, it's a wake-up call. But never forget, this aura wasn't given to you by chance. It was built. It came from the times you refused to give up. It came from the nights you cried, but still got up the next morning. It came from the moments when you stood alone, doubted, questioned, tested, and still held your ground. Every scar, every failure, every betrayal, it all added layers to your presence. That's why it's so powerful. It carries history, it carries survival, it carries truth, and truth always carries weight. When people feel your aura, what they're really feeling is all of that. They're feeling the battles you've already won, the storms you've already walked through, the pain you've already conquered. They sense the strength that's been earned, not given. That's why they look at you the way they do. That's why some are drawn to you and others retreat. Because your aura doesn't whisper safety, it declares it. It doesn't ask for recognition, it commands it. So when people misunderstand you, when they resist you, when they envy you, when they test you, when they call you too much, let them. Let them reveal who they are in the presence of your truth. Your aura is not for everyone to carry, and that's not a weakness. It's your greatest strength. Because at the end of the day, the energy you bring into the world is not just about you. It's about the impact you leave behind, the way you shift the space you enter, the legacy you're building every single day just by standing in your own power. And that's what makes your aura both a gift and a responsibility. Because when you carry something so rare, the world feels it. You don't always notice it yourself, but the shift happens every time you enter a space. The energy recalibrates, and people either rise to it or they shrink away. Some will find courage in your presence, others will feel exposed. Some will thank you for the inspiration, others will resent you for forcing them to confront what they've been avoiding. That duality follows you everywhere, and the sooner you accept it, the freer you'll become. Your aura doesn't ask for permission. It just is. And when you realize that, you stop explaining yourself to people who were never ready to understand you. You stop shrinking to make others feel comfortable. You stop softening your edges just to be accepted. Think about how many times in your life you've been told to tone it down. Don't be so direct. Don't be so confident. Don't shine so bright. That wasn't advice. It was fear. Fear disguised as guidance. Fear that your light would blind the eyes of those who have settled for darkness. But your aura is not here to dim. It's here to blaze. And blazing comes with a cost. You'll be judged by people who haven't built half the courage you carry. You'll be criticized by those who never stepped into the fire you've walked through. They'll question your motives, your choices, your strength, because it makes them feel better about their lack of their own. But listen, see, loosely, you are not here to carry their fears. You are not here to lower yourself so they can feel taller. If your presence makes them uncomfortable, that's their battle, not yours. This is why solitude becomes a sanctuary for people with powerful energy. Not because you don't value connection, but because you understand the wrong connections drain you. When your aura is strong, you can feel lies before they're spoken. You can sense betrayal before it happens. You can pick up on the weight of other people's masks before they even realize they're wearing one. And that sensitivity doesn't make you fragile. It makes you wise. You're not supposed to keep everyone close. You're supposed to guard your energy like the treasure it is. And here's the truth. Most people cannot handle someone who refuses to settle. You demand excellence, not through words, but through the standard you live by. When others cut corners, you stay disciplined. When others quit, you persist. When others drown in excuses, you find solutions. That's why your aura commands attention without asking for it. It's not luck, it's not chance, it's the result of consistency. You've trained yourself to operate at a level that most people only dream about, and your presence reflects that discipline. And you'll notice something else. Your aura exposes intentions. Watch how people treat you when they realize they cannot manipulate you. Some will disappear because their games no longer work. Others will stay and try harder, testing your boundaries, seeing if you'll bend. But the ones worth keeping are those who remain steady. They don't compete with you. They don't try to outshine you. They don't shrink in your presence. They stand with you. They recognize that your aura doesn't threaten them. It empowers them. And those are the people you build with. But make no mistake, having a powerful aura isn't easy. It demands responsibility. Because when people look at you, they see possibility. They measure themselves against you, even if they never say it. Your discipline makes them question their laziness. Your focus makes them rethink their distractions. Your resilience makes them wonder if they've given up too soon. That means every action you take has impact. Every decision you make leaves a ripple. You don't have the luxury of moving carelessly because eyes are always on you, even the ones you don't notice. That weight can feel heavy sometimes, but heavy doesn't mean impossible. It means you're carrying something meaningful. And what you're carrying is not just for you, it's for everyone who sees you and realizes they can do more, be more, live more. You've become living proof of what strength looks like. That's why people stare longer. That's why they whisper about you. That's why they watch in silence. They're trying to figure out how you do it, how you hold so much without breaking. What they don't realize is that you've already broken. Many times. You've been shattered, you've been tested, you've been knocked down. The difference is you chose to rebuild every time, and in rebuilding, your aura became indestructible. And people can feel that. They may not know your story, but they sense it in your presence. They sense the storms you've walked through. They sense the battles you've fought. They sense the scars you carry with pride. That's why your energy feels different. It's not surface level, it's rooted. It's built on something deeper, something unshakable. And for most people, that level of authenticity is terrifying. They're used to facades, to masks, to illusions. But when they meet you, they meet truth. And truth cannot be ignored. So when you feel misunderstood, remember, it's not that people don't see you, it's that they can't process you. When you feel resistance, remember, it's not about your actions, it's about their fears. When people pull away, remember, it's not rejection, it's protection. When envy surrounds you, remember, it's proof you've risen above sound. The ordinary. When you're tested, remember, it's confirmation of your strength. And when you walk without seeking approval, remember that independence is exactly what makes you untouchable. Your aura is not too powerful for most people. It's exactly what it needs to be. If it feels overwhelming, it's because they haven't yet grown into their own. But don't let that make you shrink. Don't let that make you question yourself. Don't let that make you soften your edge just to fit into a world that thrives on mediocrity. You were not built to blend in. You were built to stand out. Because at the end of the day, your aura is your truth. It's the accumulation of your battles, your resilience, your integrity. It's the signal you send to the world without saying a word. And while some will resist it, some will envy it, and some will fear it, the right ones will recognize it. They'll see the strength in your silence, the power in your presence, and the depth in your energy. And those are the people who deserve to walk beside you. But the truth is, not everyone will earn that right, and that's exactly how it should be. The kind of energy you carry is not meant to be shared carelessly. Think about it. When you allow everyone access to your time, your attention, your heart, you drain the very force that makes you who you are. That's why your aura feels overwhelming to most. It's not because you're unkind, it's because you're discerning. You don't settle for shallow bonds, meaningless conversations, or half-hearted connections. You seek depth. And depth intimidates people who've only ever swum in the shallow end of life. When people meet you, they know instantly whether they can handle you or not. Some are drawn in without even knowing why. They sense something stable, something unshakable, something magnetic. Others feel nervous, restless, like they're being seen through. And in a way, they are. Because your aura doesn't just project energy, it reads energy. You can tell when someone's intentions are false, when their smile hides envy, when their compliment masks competition. You don't need proof, you just know. And that knowing makes people uneasy because they can't play their usual games with you. That's why so many people keep their distance. It's not because you did something wrong, it's because they know deep down they can't hide who they are in your presence. And that right there is one of the clearest signs of a powerful aura. You don't just walk into a room, you cleanse it. You strip away the lies, the masks, the pretenses, and you expose truth without lifting a finger. That's why your presence feels heavy, even when you're silent. You force people to confront themselves, whether they want to or not. And it's not just individuals, it happens in groups too. Walk into a meeting, a gathering, or even a casual social circle, and watch how the atmosphere changes. People who were loud before suddenly grow quieter. People who were confident in their gossip suddenly shift uncomfortably. That's not coincidence, that's influence. Your aura disrupts the energy around you, and not everyone can handle that disruption. Some see it as an invitation to rise higher, to act better, to speak more honestly. Others see it as a threat, because it strips away the false sense of control they thought they had. But here's the thing, you don't need to be liked by everyone. You don't need universal acceptance. The moment you realize that, you free yourself from one of the heaviest chains that keeps people small, the desperate need for approval. Because the truth is, approval is cheap. Anyone can give it. But respect is earned. And when your aura carries power, you earn respect without asking for it. Even people who envy you respect you. Even people who avoid you acknowledge you. They may not say it out loud, but inside, they know you cannot be ignored. And yes, that kind of presence brings challenges. You'll notice people competing with you when you weren't even playing the game. You'll see people gossiping about you, trying to explain away your strength because they can't measure up. They'll say you got lucky. They'll claim you had it easier. They'll make up stories to protect their fragile egos. But don't waste your breath defending yourself. Your aura doesn't need defending. Your presence, your consistency, your results, they speak louder than any rumor ever could. And this is where discipline matters most. Because with a powerful aura comes responsibility. People watch you, even when you don't realize it. They study how you handle pressure, how you respond to disrespect, how you carry yourself in the face of adversity. They want to see if your strength is real or if it's just an act. And every time you remain calm under fire, every time you walk away from drama instead of engaging, every time you stand firm in your values, you prove them wrong. You show them that your aura isn't performance, it's identity. But don't mistake that identity for perfection. You're not perfect, and you're not supposed to be. Your aura doesn't come from never making mistakes. It comes from how you rise after them. It comes from the way you own your flaws, learn your lessons, and keep moving forward. That's what makes your presence so powerful. It's authentic. It's not built on pretending to be flawless. It's built on embracing the strength that comes from being real. And real, as rare as it is what people cannot handle. When you live this way, you start to notice how much lighter your life feels without the wrong people in it. You stop chasing approval, and instead you attract alignment. You stop entertaining disrespect, and instead you demand standards. You stop trying to blend in, and instead you step fully into the truth of who you are. And here's the best part. When you own your aura, you give others permission to do the same. You inspire people to stop apologizing for their strength, to stop hiding their light, to stop watering themselves down, to fit into spaces that don't deserve them. And that's the ripple effect of carrying powerful energy. It's not just about you, it's about the example you set. When you stand firm, you teach others to stand firm. When you speak truth, you teach others to value honesty. When you protect your energy, you show others that boundaries are not walls, but shields. And when you walk without fear of rejection, you remind others that freedom doesn't come from being liked, it comes from being real. But here's what you need to know. Not everyone will follow your lead. Some will be inspired, yes, but others will resent you more. Because the truth is, not everyone wants to rise. Some people cling to their excuses like oxygen. Some people would rather stay in comfort than chase growth. And when your aura threatens that comfort, they'll reject it. They'll reject you. They'll call you arrogant, cold, selfish, anything to explain away the fact that you make them feel small. But remember this. You don't make them small. You simply remind them they've chosen to stay small. So don't carry the weight of their fear. Don't dull your shine to soften their shadows. Don't bend your standards to make others comfortable. Your aura is not here to make people feel safe in mediocrity. It's here to push, to challenge, to inspire, to awaken. And while some may run from it, the ones who stay will never forget it. Because when someone encounters a force like yours, it changes them. Whether they rise with it or retreat from it, they will never see the world the same way again. And that's the mark of true power, not in how loudly you demand attention, not in how many people approve of you, but in how deeply you shift the energy of every space you enter. The measure of your aura isn't found in applause, likes, or recognition. It's found in the way people adjust themselves in your presence. Watch closely and you'll see it. Their posture changes, their words stumble, their tone softens. Some people suddenly feel the need to justify themselves around you, as if your very existence calls for accountability. That's not because you're judging them, it's because your aura carries the weight of authenticity, and authenticity demands honesty. Even when you don't say a word, your presence reminds people of their own truths. And truth is not easy to face. That's why your aura can feel heavy for others. It's not the volume of your energy, it's the depth of it. Shallow people swim comfortably in shallow waters, but the ocean terrifies them. And you You are the ocean. You carry layers, currents, and depths that most people aren't prepared to explore. That's why some people cling to the shore when they meet you. They sense that if they step too close, they'll be forced to swim deeper than they ever have before, and many are simply not ready for that kind of plunge. But here's what you must understand. This isn't your problem. Too often, people with strong auras start to question themselves. You wonder, am I too much? Am I the problem? Should I hold back so others feel more comfortable? No, your aura is not a flaw to be corrected. It is a standard to be upheld. If others cannot meet it, that doesn't mean you shrink. It means they must grow. You cannot spend your life cutting yourself into smaller pieces just so others can swallow you more easily. Your job is not to fit into their comfort zones. Your job is to remain whole. And being whole means carrying both light and shadow. A powerful aura isn't built only on positivity and warmth. It carries intensity, it carries discipline, it carries boundaries that cannot be crossed. People often confuse kindness with weakness, and they assume that to be radiant means to be endlessly soft. But your aura is not just light, it's fire. It warms those who respect it, but it burns those who try to misuse it. That balance between compassion and strength is what makes your presence unforgettable. You are not one-dimensional. You are layered, complex, and unshakable. You'll also notice how your aura polarizes people. Some will admire you and lean in, others will envy you and push away. That polarization isn't a failure, it's a filter. It separates those who belong from those who don't. Think of a magnet. Its strength attracts what aligns with it and repels what doesn't. Your aura does the same. It doesn't need effort. It doesn't need strategy. It naturally pulls the right people closer and pushes the wrong ones out. And the more you embrace that, the easier life becomes, because you stop forcing connections that were never meant to exist. And it's not just people, it's opportunities too. Your aura shapes what comes your way. Doors open for you not because you chase them desperately, but because your presence signals readiness. You don't beg for chances, you attract them. You don't scream for recognition, you command it. That doesn't mean you won't face obstacles, you will. But the difference is that when your aura is strong, obstacles bend in your direction. The right people notice, the right paths reveal themselves, and even closed doors eventually give way, because your energy demands movement. Still, there will be those who resent that about you. They'll wonder why you seem to receive opportunities they don't. They'll question why people listen when you speak, why rooms shift when you enter. They won't realize that it has nothing to do with favoritism and everything to do with alignment. You've aligned your inner self with strength, discipline, and integrity, and the outer world reflects it. What they see as luck is simply energy matching energy. And instead of doing the work to strengthen their own aura, they'll waste time resenting yours. That's not your burden to carry. The most challenging part of living with such an aura is the isolation it sometimes brings. Not everyone will want to walk with you. Not everyone can. But isolation is not emptiness. It's a forge. It's where you refine your strength, where you hear your own thoughts without the noise of others, where you sharpen your clarity. And when you emerge from that solitude, you are even more unshakable. Loneliness may sting, but it also purifies. It strips away distractions, leaving only what is essential. That's why some of your greatest growth has happened when you walked alone. And the irony is, the stronger you become, the more others will try to test that strength. They'll poke at your patience, push your limits, and watch closely to see if you'll break. They don't do this because they dislike you. They do it because they can't believe someone can carry themselves the way you do without cracking. They need proof that you're just like them, fragile, reactive, easily shaken. But when you remain composed, when you refuse to take their bait, when you stand unbothered, that unsettles them more than anything. Because now, not only do they see your strength, they realize their tests are powerless against you. This is why your aura must always be guarded. Not everyone who smiles at you wishes you well. Some admire you openly, others quietly, but some envy you silently. And envy is dangerous. It masquerades as support while waiting for your stumble. That's why discernment is vital. Trust actions over words. Pay attention to patterns over promises. Your aura may attract many, but only a few deserve access. Protecting your space doesn't mean you're paranoid. It means you're wise enough to know that not everyone should walk with you. And yet, for all the resistance, for all the envy, for all the isolation, your aura remains a gift. Because no matter how people respond to it, you change them. You shift them. They can't leave your presence untouched. Some will rise, some will retreat, but none will remain the same. And that's the ultimate sign of power, not control, not dominance, but transformation. Your aura transforms the spaces you touch, the people you encounter, and the paths you walk. That transformation doesn't come from pretending, it doesn't come from performing, it comes from being. Simply by standing rooted in your truth, you alter everything around you. And that is why your aura feels too powerful for most. Because most people live in illusions, and illusions cannot survive in the presence of truth. Because truth exposes everything. It strips away the masks people wear, the excuses they hide behind, the false confidence they project into the world. And when your aura radiates truth, it acts like a mirror that no one can escape. People see themselves more clearly in your presence, and sometimes that reflection is too raw, too real, too confronting. That's why they may retreat from you, or even resent you, because you reveal the parts of themselves they've been avoiding. But understand this, it is not your job to dim your light so that others can stay comfortable in their shadows. Your purpose is not to make their illusions feel safe. Your purpose is to keep shining, to keep radiating, to keep being that mirror of authenticity. Think about how most people live. They surround themselves with noise, with distractions, with comfort zones so padded that they never have to face the depth of their own potential. But when you walk in with your aura, you cut through all of that. You don't need to say much. Your silence alone carries weight. Your focus unsettles them. Your discipline makes their excuses crumble. Your calm confidence reminds them of every corner they've cut, every standard they've lowered, every moment they've betrayed their own greatness. That's why your presence feels too much for them. It's not that you're doing anything wrong. It's that you're showing them what right looks like. And make no mistake, people will project onto you because of this. They'll call you intimidating. They'll label you cold or arrogant when in reality you are simply refusing to dilute your standards. They'll say you're distant when in fact you're discerning. They'll misinterpret your strength because they've never learned how to carry their own. Do not internalize these labels. Do not let their fear of their own reflection convince you to shrink. They are not describing you. They are describing what your aura forces them to confront within themselves. That's why it's so important for you to stand firm in your identity. Power is not about being the loudest voice in the room. It's not about forcing others to notice you. It's about being so anchored in who you are that the world adjusts around you. Power is stillness that cannot be shaken. It's presence that doesn't beg. It commands. You don't chase approval. You don't compromise your values for acceptance. You walk in your truth, and those who are meant to align with it will rise to meet you. Those who can't will fall away. That's the natural order of things, and you must trust it. But here's where the challenge comes in. Walking with a powerful aura requires carrying weight. It requires shouldering isolation, misunderstanding, and sometimes rejection. Because people don't always understand what they can't measure. They look for evidence of your worth in titles, in money, in recognition. But your aura speaks beyond all of that. It speaks to a strength that doesn't need to be quantified, a resilience that can't be explained, a presence that lingers long after you've left the room. Some will get it, most won't, but you cannot let their lack of understanding define the way you carry yourself. Instead, you must refine your gift. A powerful aura without discipline can become chaos. Strength without control can become destruction. Your energy must be directed with intention. Just as fire can burn down a house or warm a home, your aura can either consume or elevate. That choice is yours. Don't waste it on proving yourself to people who will never see you clearly. Don't scatter it on battles that don't deserve your presence. Channel it toward your vision, your growth, your mission. Because when your aura is aligned with purpose, it becomes unstoppable. And understand this, people who cannot handle your aura will often try to reduce you. They'll minimize your accomplishments, dismiss your presence, or distract from your strength. Not because you're lacking, but because acknowledging your power forces them to face their own smallness. Do not fight to prove them wrong. Simply continue to rise. Silence and consistency are your greatest weapons. While they waste energy trying to explain you away, you're already building, already achieving, already moving into spaces they can't reach. That's the difference. Your aura doesn't just carry presence, it carries momentum. But with great power comes great responsibility. People are watching you, even when you don't realize it. They're learning from the way you move, from the way you carry yourself, from the way you respond under pressure. You inspire others simply by existing in your truth. And while you may never know the full extent of your impact, understand this. Someone out there is braver because of you. Someone is raising their standards because of you. Someone is stepping into their own power because they saw you refuse to shrink. That's the ripple effect of a powerful aura. It transforms not just you, but everyone who dares to stand close enough to feel it. And yes, there will be those who leave, friends who drift away, colleagues who quietly step back, relationships that dissolve because they cannot withstand the pressure of your energy. Do not chase them. When someone leaves your life in the presence of your aura, it means they were never strong enough to stand beside it. Let them go with grace. Their absence makes room for those who can match your vibration, who can support you, our journey, who can walk with you without fear or envy. Never cling to what is falling away. Your aura is leading you to something greater. The truth is, walking with such power will always separate you from the crowd. But you weren't born to blend in. You weren't created to be ordinary. You were made to carry weight that others can't, to see visions they can't imagine, to move with strength they can't sustain. That's why your path looks different. That's why your circle is smaller. That's why your life feels heavier at times. But heavy is not bad. Heavy is a sign that you're carrying something worth holding. And when you fully embrace this, when you stop apologizing for your presence, when you stop negotiating your standards, when you stop shrinking to make others comfortable, everything changes. You no longer chase people. You no longer beg for validation. You no longer question your worth. You simply walk as you are, powerful, undeniable, unshakable, and those who are meant for you will recognize it instantly, not because you told them, not because you convinced them, but because energy never lies. Your aura is not too much, it's not too heavy, it's not too powerful, it's exactly what it's meant to be. And those who can't handle it, they were never meant to stand in it. You are not here to be manageable, you are here to be magnetic. You are here to carry weight that shifts atmospheres. You are here to remind the world what true presence looks like.